Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all
Hey,
tap in.
is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank
And Christina
It's the
Carter.
hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank
And Christina
It's the
Carter.
hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick it.
Every Tuesday.
Everything is going
Every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony
Every
Show. It's through
Tuesday.
the week, homie. The Roy
Every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap
call
in.
before we gotta
Tap
talk.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
Every
Show. Come on
Tuesday.
and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
Every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host
Tap in.
Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank.
And Christina.
What it do? What it do? What it do?
How you doing?
How you doing? What's up with you, Miss Uniqueness?
What's
Christine?
good?
You got it. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm at work,
Oh
but
wow.
I'm here with a patient though. So I'm just she's sleeping. So I said, let
Okay.
me hop on. I bought my laptop and stuff. I said, yeah, I'm gonna get on today.
Oh, word up, word up. It's good. A pleasure to see you. You know that as well. And you know, Big Hank will be coming here pretty soon. Those who's joining in, I am comedian Roy Anthony. This is the Roy Anthony Show with my beautiful co-stars. You see, Miss Uniqueness, Christina Carter, and then our other co-star, Big Hank, will be coming in pretty soon. They'll be like, okay, jumping in. I wonder what's going on. Why they usually show our names underneath, right? Oh, it's probably because I got this banner up, our subject. So
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
yeah, we're coming live through the Woe Entertainment, the Woe Hideout, which is under the Woe Entertainment. We was on there last night, bumping them slow cuts last night. I did something for the couples, but the Woe Entertainment, which was created by Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, co-creator Goose, our associate producer who keeps everything working properly, Miss Blue Phoenix, and then our sponsor, like Matt Brooks, along with one of our other producers, Ethan. And then we like to give a shout out to all the BB Nation that be in the house. Want to say hey to everyone, those who isn't. CO Roy Suggs, you know, that's how our producer always talking. Our producer, me and him, that's some banter that me and him do. It's no sexual thing or nothing. It's just a banter. We thank God for him because this platform was built upon to bring awareness to our veterans that goes out and fight different wars that's directed by our government. You know, we go against tyranny and bullishness by certain crowds to others, and our we salute our military because that's what give us the freedom and to do the things we do. You know, people have a choice to leave this country if they want. You know, but it's my home, and it's your home, and my family tree goes deeper than some people that feel like they just on bridge. It trips me out when I see people from Ireland descent and they try to bring like, yeah, we the true Americans. No, especially Irish people. Nothing against you, but you came around in the 1890s, through the great grand potato. There was a something with the potatoes over there in Ireland. They called it the potato famine, and a lot of them immigrated, which America welcomed the orange. I read books where when the Irish was coming over and they would see the Statue of Liberty as like, wow, we made it. When you see that statue, you made it. And but people like our even like our head producer, you know, with him being half part Native American, his family trees go way deep. Just like myself, I found outside my family was Native Americans that they didn't come over here on those ships. Now, I don't know how that works because the propaganda makes it seem like all black people in the United States came from Africa, and that's not the truth. You don't have 100 could bring over 1 million blacks from over in Africa because the ships can only go every 30 days to their shores and get back. And you can only bring about 200, if that. And then that stopped because the laws over in Africa is that if you was a slave, and I'm getting on this because our subject today is we hear a lot of people saying the word Wokism. Have you heard that before, Miss Christina? People's talking about, oh, they woke, and a lot of the Republicans sometimes that's on that Trump side, they calling it Wokism. And Wokism is a term being used to define CRT, that CRT is a problem. Now, you know what CRT, so we see these words and terminologies in the news and everything. And when I was a kid, my mother used to tell us that if you don't understand a certain word or subject, to look up the definition. And when you look up the definition of a word, it tells you how to break it down, how you can pronounce it, how you can use it in a sentence. Before we get into that, we had some comments. Roy, we are going to Roy the house. We're going to Roy the house Saturday, rock the house. Oh, he talking about the comedy show. We have a big comedy show, y'all, this Saturday. I flew back into Kansas City so I can make sure I'm on the show. I was in Los Angeles these past couple of weeks. And I said, I'm circled on my calendar that on the 23rd, Miss Uniqueness, I'm gonna be rocking the house with Richard King and Richard Matano down there in Chillicothe, Missouri. Now, me and my friends, we've been laughing because I've never heard of Chillicothe, Missouri. I look forward to coming down there.
Is it gonna be virtual or y'all gonna air it later or what?
Oh, I don't know. When I'm on performance mindset, I'm like, that's on, that's Richie and the producers that they're working with. I'm coming just, do my shine. You feel me? I love making people laugh because the more I like laugh. I love when people, like, I have a cousin, Miss Uniqueness, who always tease. He knows how to mock me, and he be having me laughing at myself, right? I mean, I be crying. I love having a good time, and because once you break those inhibitions of laughter and laughing, it seems like everything is smooth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Arguments and stuff leads to people saying things you didn't mean after a couple of weeks or whatever, grudges, people fighting and all this stuff. And, and it's just traumatic, Me, I've had a turmoil life. That's why God made me to be able to do comedy, because in me, I don't want nobody else to suffer through the stuff like I've been through.
Right.
Richie King's the same way, Thai Food Panda, Big Hank, a lot of people is starting to understand Big Hank. Sometimes you have to look past words to understand someone's message. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we got Puritan ears, you know what I'm saying, Christina?
Yeah.
And the thing about our show is we don't discriminate. I don't trip on someone's sexual preferences. I don't trip on what race you are. I don't trip on what religion you study. I don't do none of that. I love being an humanitarian, a human, and I feel like I'm in the best country in the world. That's how I feel. Despite there's a lot of stuff I call out,
Right.
you know. We're gonna get on some subjects and stuff. Um, Share with the people a little bit about what you've been going through. Like when you think of race, you tell me what you're thinking about. I need to step out just for about quick 1 second, okay? If not, you
Okay,
can
what I
keep
think about when I think
about
about
this
race.
race, about yes, the CRTs. See, CRTs. I meant to say this means critical race thinking.
Okay.
And give me a second.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Miss Uniqueness, the co host of The Roy Anthony Show, and I am happy to be back in you guys' presence. If I can understand what he asked me to do, which was what do I think about critical racist thinking? Um, Me personally, I don't look at race as a color. We are all the same. We all bleed red blood. And so like with me, I want to say that I'm just a type that's a learned behavior, and I don't look at people for their color. I treat everyone equally. It doesn't matter what color you are to me. Um, it's just the point where, like I said, it is a learned thing. A baby coming out of the world and they have somebody that they see, they don't look at them as color. I saw a video where it was a little white boy and a little black boy and they couldn't wait to see each other get off the train. And they didn't see no color. And then the white boy wanted to get his haircut exactly like the black boy because he figured he wanted to be his twin. So I mean, it's something that's learned, and that's what I get out of that.
And I was listening to you. I had to step out real quick. See, the to keep us from growing is to keep us divided. For one, the media works with a certain group. I tell anybody, get to know me, like, and I'm gonna get to know you. If your spirit ain't something I'm gelling with, I don't care what. Because there's blacks I don't mess with. You know, there's whites that I do mess with. There's blacks that I do mess with. There's whites that I don't mess with, and so on and so on. It's about that individual. Like I seen my man Tater, and Tater is emceeing the comedy show this Saturday. I'm gonna be honest before we get on to our subject. I was so, I study a comedian. If I'm there, because I really don't watch comedians because I don't like to measure them up because I know how it is on being on that stage. So I salute every comedian. I don't care if you ain't Chris Rock's or Cat Williams, them. I don't care about that. A person who gets on there. So I watched Tater. We was out there in Cameron, Missouri, and he had me laughing just like. And so he's emceeing the show, which is a great wave. I'm coming in as a guest spot, and I think Redneck Pimp is going to be the headliner. I think Richard Matano is the one who's going to be um, um, featuring. But what I like about it, Miss Uniqueness and everybody, I think in the terms of that, Tater is, in the race theory, he's a white guy, but I say my brother. Roy Anthony is a black man. I call myself, if you want to go by, race, I consider myself a black American. I'm not an African American. I don't know nothing about Africa, but that's another subject for another day. Then Rich is a Latino. And then Redneck, of course, you don't get a name for being redneck. But does it make sense what I'm saying? Guess what our whole purpose is? There's only one defining subject. It's to bring laughter. For that, and so it's not about, oh, is he a black comedian or he's a white comedian? And you're, I Miss Uniqueness. And I'm talking, this is on this race theory. I've had where in Long Beach, my comedy show was 50-50, or we'll say 40-40-20, because it was 40% white, 40% blacks, 20% Latinos or others. I would have white comedians come and say, hey man, I ain't know how to rock in front of the black crowd, you know. Then I've had the black comedians to say, man, I don't know how to do the white crowd, man. The thing is, you'll stand a comedian, it doesn't say what race my comedy is built for. I pride myself that my comedy is from 2 to 9. It's like that song, I'm wishing, on a white, from kids from 1 through 92, all that, right? Black, white,
Mhm.
because you know why? We had the same organs. We have every human has a flap in their brain that the scientists can't get to, and it only is released. It's an endorphin that's released that goes into your body that cures every disease, every um, negative mental thoughts, anything in your body, from cancers to diabetes and everything. There's an endorphin, and the only way it's released is through laughter. Now, you don't want to laugh because this guy is white, or you don't want to laugh because this guy is black. Now you hindering yourself from healing. Um, they said, yes, sir, it's for us all. That's right. I mean, for real. When I'm on that stage, I am not wondering if I got whites, black. I love the universe when I could see just the laughter. I'm a fiend for the laughter, Miss Uniqueness. If it makes it, when I hear the ha ha, I don't care if it's for a white, black, Latino,
Right.
tall person, Catholic. I don't care about that.
They
The
do that in churches and stuff too, though. They like if a certain preacher not preaching, oh, they ain't hooping and hollering, they not gonna respond.
and that's a shame because you want a show. Now you're telling me you want a concert, a sermon concert. You don't
Yeah.
want to learn something that's going to better yourself. And I'm going to get on that too, because I've been hard on these churches. It ain't no way I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect different results. Black churches need to be ashamed of themselves because we should have been unhappy business. I don't want to see no church telling me, oh, we've been established since 1898. Well, what business you got for the parishes? Or you just so good at soaking monies out of people's pockets? I have a problem with that. And I call that out. And so, but I also want to say, because when a situation is isolated where a white person did blacks, man, yes, we got the history.
Hmm.
Yes, people are seeing it. This is where the wokeism term came up, because you got some that wants my white neighbors to keep thinking the way they are about blacks. If you don't get to know me, and Richie and his constituents has gotten to know me, just like we have gotten to know him, and Big Hank and them, we was all in Long Beach, and we was talking about the Woe Entertainment. And it was a big wondering, well, should we pull off and all that and cats and stuff, because there was these guys that, said the black thing, right? And so then all some other brothers, I didn't even know, they said, nah, man, I like them guys. They was talking about, man, they love Redneck Pimp and Commander, and they found out that they watched some of their shows. Because how do we get to know each other unless we get to know each other? Me and
Right.
Redneck has became a bridge. I go down there, man, I met Commander. I met his beautiful wife. I lied to you not, it was nothing fake. She was hugging me like I've been knowing her since Christmas of 78.
Hmm.
Tater and them. I've been in the backyard with a rapidos, which is it's an animal that looked like a llama without the long neck. And to my understanding, he don't spit on you, but I didn't get that close to him to try to figure that out. But we come together. See, The critical race thinking, which is what they call the CRTs, is that they want people, we're going to make, this is 1956. We're going to make America great again. Well, that's not a great situation with my family, because if I walk on the sidewalk with you, guess what? If I'm walking to where my left shoulder is facing the street, I'm going to walk to the right side of the sidewalk and give enough space for the person who's walking towards me, whose right shoulder is facing the street, means that they're coming to me like this. I'm going to give them that's what's considered the respect. 1956, me being a black guy, I would have to walk off the sidewalk and don't look you in the eye. I'm like, man, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taught to look every man in the eye. And I respect them to do the same with me.
A lot of people can't do that, though.
And the thing is, we say, oh, treat each other the way we want to be treated. Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't want nobody to feel like they got to get off the sidewalk because I'm walking. I feel bad. I'm like, hey, you don't have to do that. I've held the door open for seniors, and I don't, if a race, it was this older white guy. He was probably like 70 something, and I was holding up the door for him, and he tried to move fast. I said, no, sir, take your time. And so if I got the patience for you, and he said, man, I appreciate that. Nah, you don't have to run. I don't want no white person to say you can't drink. You thirsty, man? Here, I'll pour you some water. You can come in my front door. I'm going to treat you like my brother. I get that at Redneck's house. After you go through the jungle to get there, I done had deers go in front of my spot and stop and look at me like, hey, what you doing? I had to wait for them to cross.
Mm-hmm.
They knew I was new. Everybody else probably ran them over. I'm like, I don't know if Geico going to have me intentionally hitting the deer. But we have to look at that. In the military, there is no, okay, Lord forbid you're worrying about critical race stuff, or about whites and blacks or whatever. If you out there fighting and bullets is whizzing past you, the last thing I need to worry about who's white or black. My concern is I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to depend on my man who got my back, no matter I ain't looking at what race. It's the same thing here. Why is it so hard to think that, hey, okay, if we're in an accident, I'm in an accident, I need blood transfusion. I'm not going to look through comatose eyes to see who I'm getting it from. If you're hungry and you're around me, I know you. There's no way, if Tater was around me, there's no way he's homeless. I'll be like, hey, man, you can stay here, man, and get up on your feet. There's no way I could be homeless and I go over red. I know even if I had to sleep out in the garage, I'll have to work. You know, I'm hoping I'm making a point. When we talk about, when I see these, because I'm not a Republican, I'm not on the left wing, I'm not no right wing, I'm not none of that. But when we see situations, and I don't point my fingers just at whites, because I see these leaders that talk to masses of blacks every week, and yet we still talk about we should overcome. Man, I see one of my favorite ladies in the house. I'm gonna bring her in. I know she's busy, but I want to bring her in and stuff. How you doing, Miss Moore?
Fantabulous. How are you today?
Oh, I am totally honored and blessed. It's happy to see you.
All right.
Hello,
It's
Miss
always a pleasure. Hello there, my dear daughter. It's always a pleasure. I be listening a lot of times. Y'all don't know I'm listening, but I be listening because I be in areas and I can't really be live. So, but I be listening. Yeah, but it's always a pleasure. And I just want to come on for a minute and say hello and say keep up the good work. And shouts
Thank
out
you.
to y'all, and make sure you tell Big Hank I say what's up. I don't see his smiling face today.
Yeah.
So just know
He'll
I
be
love
popping
y'all,
in.
and y'all just keep going. All
All right.
right,
Thank you,
then.
Miss
Sound like a
Moore.
plan. All right.
All
Have
right,
a
for
blessed
sure.
one. All right.
You had the same.
Yes, sir.
Miss Moore be one of our favorites. Pops in guest with wisdom. Big Hank will be popping up here pretty soon. See, one of the things that I wanted this platform to be, especially with the Roy Anthony show coming through the Woe Entertainment, was to actually have a conversation. It's not a confrontation. It's not a confrontation. I'm not pointing my fingers and it's your fault, your fault. I'm just calling stuff out. This is with a conversation. I was there was one of our white brothers who we was talking. We had he had came on the show through the comments, and we had mentioned about the Confederate flag, and I did not know it until he explained. See, this is where conversations go. He explained to me that to him and his friends that meant it's like uh uh forget the government is their symbol for we're against the government. And I can't look at them and say, oh, you wrong, because I've been taught that it represented the the states that want to keep slavery. But they look at it as now as a symbol to why they against the government, which is just like the the soul fist and the Black Panther. When you see the cat, it was like we're against the government, you know. But what we don't know is that we're kind of pulling the same thing together. Oh yeah, he says a rebel flag. That's and it's distance against the government. It's and that's what I'm saying. I did not know that unless we have a conversation. I'm learned this because some people finds it and I tell anybody, I got thick skin. It's taught. Some people, even like white neighbors, might find it inadequate to be able to talk with me or another black about some of these situations. So they may think that they touching on our nerves because sometimes we got these sensitive people that's on the TV acting like they speaking for us. Now, I have no problems with Reverend Al Sharpton and the lawyer Benjamin Crump because they call out the injustice. And Reverend Al Sharpton is what, almost 80 years old. And throughout his whole life, since I've been a kid, that's what he would do. Now, if people didn't want to hear him speaking on these type of situations where we have still more white police that are shooting unarmed black police, and these don't speak. I found out they don't speak for a lot of other white police. Some of the white police find this insulting. Like when I met Commander, I had to have a conversation with him to realize that he was a police officer all his life. And he explained that he pulled out his revolver twice, which I didn't blame him. I was surprised. I told him, he said, I didn't even shoot the one. I've been like, you know, and I commend that. But the media sometimes, which is bad, have where I always tell people, one of the things that amazes me that my neighbors, and I'm talking about my white neighbors and my Asian neighbors, out of 13.5%, this is what blacks make up in the US, 300 million people, we make up 13.5%. So 10% of 300 is, to my understanding, 30,000. 30 million. Out of 300 million, it's like 30 million with that other 3.5, which I would say about, uh, about a good 45 million. There's 2,000 crimes that goes on throughout the U.S. 2,000 crimes a day goes out the U.S. Not saying it has to be murders and stuff, but it's 2,000 crimes going out the U.S. But our media always will show a particular black person who has done a crime. And when you build this up and push this, the then my white neighbors automatically start thinking that a black that they encounter is just as criminal because why would we be always on the news? But it'd be surprising to my neighbors that out of the 13.5% of the black population, only 1.5 to 2% of these is really less actually does the crimes out of that 13.5. So the media purports it so that way, if you're not blacks do crime, yeah. There's some heinous stuff that if it was up to me, I ain't gonna let you be on death row. If we found out and through DNA and you guilty, man, this guy only get him out the way. For real. Or sit him on the island and an island with infested with alligators and all that. We ain't killed you, but you on your own out there. You feel me? If you survive, you survive. If you don't, oh well. You shouldn't have been banished to there. You know what I'm saying? But when we're getting killed for basic traffic stops, with all the stuff going in the world, we're still a dude in Los Angeles. Police officer shot a lady in her car. Now, in the ordinance of Los Angeles, you cannot shoot in a moving car. This dude shot 30 times. He reloaded his clip at a woman. These are the things. And one of my white neighbors, they made a point, and this is why I've said the same thing. A lot of our public fears, our white neighbors, is thinking that we going to retaliate. That's been the fear that blacks would want to retaliate since the American Revolutionary War. You can look it up yourself. The colonies didn't even want, they were supposed to give like every colony supposed to give at least 100 soldiers. Some of the colonies didn't want to fight. This is where I studied what the third percenters have been saying. There's a group called the 3%ers, and they do have a point, but it was basically from their white family side, because some of the colonies didn't want to work, and some of the states only was able to allow 3% of the men that want to actually war with the American Revolution. You got to study stuff. You got to look it up. They do kind of have a point about there's some of the colonies. But what tripped me out is that the colonies was rather to be under the rule of the British Army than to put guns in some of the blacks that were slaves. Not all blacks were slaves. And some of the blacks that were slaves, because they was more worried about a slave revolt than it was to fight against the British. And this is where if our races come in and let's talk. Just because I like hip hop and everything don't make me a villain in you, for real. Because you might wear Levi's with some cowboy boots and a cowboy hat and stuff, doesn't make me have fear of you. Some guys get the pickup trucks and got the wheels look like they can roll over other people's cars. When they get out, I'm like, hey, because that's a machine. It doesn't define who you are. When I see that, I don't see the guy as being a racist guy. I see as a guy who loves a pickup truck with big wheels. Whereas I got some partners, my Latino homies, like lowriders. They like to hit them switches. I like it once in a while, but only for a quick minute, because after a while, it hurts your back. I don't like it's entertaining to watch, but I don't like to go through it all the time. It doesn't make me measure that person up. You hear me, Miss Christina? What? Give me something where you've done something for another race or person without even thinking about them as race. Share something with me.
I do it all the time. So it was now my situation that I'm dealing with now, it didn't even matter at the moment that I did help someone of another race. It was a time where this young lady, she had three younger children than mine, and she didn't have food. She's a single mom, and she had been reaching out on Facebook and Instagram for places to go in the area and people to donate food and clothes to them. And not only that, they didn't have a place to stay either. Despite my situation, what I'm going through, me being a single mom and not having, I still reached out to this young lady and helped her get her a room and also get food for a couple of days for her children. So I didn't look at the color. I looked at the need. So
You
that's
see
what
what
I
Tater
did.
said? Now, Tater, why he said it's called being a human being.
Yeah, you don't look at races. You look at the need. We are all servants. We are here for somebody else. So I do it all the time.
And see, that's the thing. Like, I wanted people to understand. Okay, I understand what's going on. There's a war going over there in Russia and Ukraine. I personally did not like that President Joe Biden get in front of the world stage without talking to us about it. Do we want 100,000 people over here? Now, has been a humanitarian. I can see where he's going from. But I'm gonna tell you, I love what Governor Abbott. I became a fan of Governor Abbott of Texas. You know why? I love a person who keeps their word. Everybody in Texas should vote for Governor Abbott. There's one thing I feel like he's gonna keep his word. So when President Joe Biden told that we're gonna bring out 100,000 Ukrainians to come over. Wait a minute, my man come in. Let me hold my thought. What's up with you, Big Hank? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. What's up, Roy? What's happening?
Good.
What's happening, Christina Carter? What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
You sitting over there looking like a lump of sugar over there, man. Look at her, man.
Ah,
Miss Moore was
That's right.
just saying, she told me, she said, I was waiting for Big Hank to see his big, beautiful smile. That's what she said.
Man, that's why I love Miss Moore, man. I love Miss Moore, man. Yes,
And
man.
so we was on this critical CRT, critical race thinking and wokism. And
Okay.
I was on, what was the subject I was just talking on, Christina?
I
it
think I heard
was
you talking about Ukraine.
Oh, yeah,
Wokism
okay.
and CRT.
Yeah, now look, I'm not against the Ukrainians. President Joe Biden. No, I was saying this. I became a big fan of Governor Abbott of Texas because I
Okay.
like a person who keeps their word. You know what I'm saying? I think that everybody in Texas should vote for Governor Abbott because I'm not a Republican or Democrat. You know, so Governor Abbott, after President Joe Biden went in front of the world and said, "We're going to allow 100,000 of Ukrainians come over," right? Now, it was so, to me, it was hypocrisy to let them come down through the Mexican border. I thought that's fine. Telling Mexicans and Hondurans, you can't come in, they can, you can't. So you got to cipher that up.
I see all y'all already lined up at the border, but y'all got to get behind the Ukrainians now.
Exactly. Guess what? If I was Mexican, I'd be looking like a Ukrainian. I would start having a Russian accent.
You trying to fight every one of them motherfuckers I see. I'm gonna beat somebody up.
Ain't you Mexican? No, senor. I'm from Ukraine. So wait a minute. So Governor Abbott said, "Forget this. I'm gonna put him on the Greyhound bus."
Yeah, drop him right at the.
So they thought he was just talking and venting his frustrations, right?
That nigga dropped the whole bus load.
Hey, when them Greyhound buses pulled up.
Yeah.
Hey, the Biden administration got mad. They mad about talking about you messing up the economy. No, you messing up the economy and stuff with these chicken wings costing $18 for only 2 pounds.
For real though.
For real, now you're gonna invite 100,000 people. We got all these homeless people here.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man, get these people out of prison. I got some room for them. You take out about 45% of them brothers that's in prison for misdemeanors and weed sales, and you let them stay there.
Yeah.
And stuff for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Y'all need some housing. We got some housing for you right there.
Yes. It's not fair to let these brothers who's supposed to be out for selling weed or misdemeanors. You let them out. And I'm talking about blacks, whites, and Latinos. You let them out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You keep them child molesters and the rapists. You keep them in
right.
there.
Keep them right there.
Yeah. Put them in a different ward. But they let these Ukrainians, you're going to have housing. They ain't going to shut the cells.
No, y'all get to live on level 1 facility.
Exactly. You're going to get 3 meals a day. It's better than you walking through war and torn.
Yes, sir.
You get 3 meals a day. We're going to keep those doors open. You can't leave the building, though, because, you know what I'm saying, we got a curfew. And you can play ping pong and do all the Ukrainian type of stuff you was doing, but you got shelter until we figure this out.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest.
I got you. Sound like a plan to me. I sound like a better plan. Sound like a better plan than what they've been doing.
I'm telling you, if you trying to duck through tank tracks and all that stuff, and Lord, well, guess what? President Joe Biden, we can accommodate these people by you letting the people that lives here out of these corrected institutions that doesn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know,
don't help nobody, don't correct nobody, don't rehabilitate nobody. No,
you and I,
nothing.
But you and the 3 of us, and we're on this CRT. This all falls in CRT. You and I and Christine, we all come up and we take our money, we build a prison, and we go through the paperwork. So guess what we ask the state? We don't say we don't want to be empty because of each person that you have, the state gives you so much money for that person. Their reason for building is that we want. They don't say if we need it. We want 80% capacity as a minimum. Yeah. So that means there's only 20% of people doing felonies in this area. Well, we ain't making we need 80% in here. Yeah. Well, guess what we'll do? We'll start giving guys 6 months to a year for just DUIs. Matter of fact, let's give them at least a 1 to 2 years of misdemeanor. That's what they did. Yeah. They was having weed. We know weed is legal, but what we're gonna do is keep them in there and until a filibuster or something, and you can get their time too, there, buddy. So how many people you got now? Well, we're at 85 max, but a lot of people's up for parole. Well, we want to make sure that the PV, we want to set them out there. They don't have no job, no money. They'll be back in here. Because in California, you can't roll with another person on parole. That's an automatic parole violation.
You ain't supposed to.
You ain't supposed to, but I'm just saying this. I'm in the car, and the first thing the police said, anybody on probation, parole? I can understand this one dude said, well, I am. What you saying that for? I could be an international parolee. I'm not saying nothing.
Yes, sir. Yeah, make them do their own work.
For real. I'm sitting in the back, dude, telling me you got like, man, you see me driving? I'm not even in the front. Man. I need ID for. You on parole or probation? You tell me.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying is, so we sit up here, and I'm gonna talk about the Wokism. That was our subject today. Our subject was, and I'm gonna put it back on, is that Wokism is the term being used to define CRT is a problem. Now, in the media, they don't give you, they just say CRT, CRT. My mother always said, if there's a word you don't know, look it up. CRT means critical race thinking. So I looked up what do woke mean. Well, it's funny. Wokism means Wokism is the left wing on social justice issues. This is what they defined it. It's one of the definitions. Left wing. Now that bothered me. You're telling me now words are created for only one side of people who believes in Republicans. This is what this word saying that going back to 1956. This is the other word. It's an English adjective meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination that originated in African American, which I don't like that. One black dude, comes up with like, oh, we'll call ourselves African American, push that agenda. We didn't vote for that. I don't never consider myself African American. I consider myself Black American because I don't know nothing about Africa. There's nobody here. And then I found out there's family members of mine that never came across no shit. I'm trying to, you explain that. They said they held the ropes for the people to get over here off the Mayflowers.
Yeah.
They was hungry. We cooked them greens and collard greens and all that stuff. We helped them, shuck corn and all that.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go into history. I go on to the now. Let's move forward, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? All the stuff that's going on, here we are still getting shot.
Yeah.
And said proof that they want to keep us separated. It's gotten to a point where you have some whites to say, okay, right now they're saying, save America. First it was make America great again. Now it's save America. Listen to everybody. Listen, please listen. Let's take, for instance, that hate is a seed. If you was to plant seeds of hate, what do you expect to grow?
Hate.
Big ass trees of hate. Big ass trees of hate.
Trees. You plant hate to anybody. I don't care if it's to your family, to your friends. If you plant this hate, what do you expect to grow?
You get what you put in.
Damon, I love what he said right here. Only until we all come together will we try to have a solution. That's her, because everybody knows the problems. We never have a solution. Well, some people wants to be, it's amazing. I was saying this earlier, but Hank, I don't want to walk down the sidewalk. If it was the other way around, I'm a black person, and I wouldn't want nobody to have to get off the sidewalk because I'm walking on it.
Right.
I don't want nobody, you thirsty and stuff. I'm like, hey, this is black man's water fountain. You go to find your water. I wouldn't want nothing like that. You thirsty. I stand there with, man, hey, man, let the water run a little bit. It gets warm at first. Yeah. I don't want you coming in the
See, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that don't know the difference between empathy and sympathy. My daughter had told me about this morning. People care about others' feelings, which is a form of sympathy, but empathy is walking them out in a person's shoes, being in that person's position, like you just taking that person and switching places. How would they feel if they were getting that exact treatment?
That is great. I love that. I love that. Yeah. You know what? You just hit a key point. And that is exactly what some of the white neighbors are saying about the other white neighbors. Exactly that. They call it Wokism. Well, some people are putting themselves in your shoes. It's like, wow. Compared to somebody just sympathizing with you because, hey, it's the thing for me to say. If you have a death in your family, it's for me to say, oh, my condolences.
My condolences. It's like it's all pre-recorded, and only thing, if you can just sit here and hit play on everything somebody say, you damn near know everything they're gonna say. So you can literally repeat what they're saying in your head because it's a practice thing that they do. Yeah. But like I said, if people would empathize with people, Yeah, it's a learned behavior. If people would
Right.
take time out to empathize with people instead of just sympathizing with them, then it'll
You
be
know
you
what?
may see a change within yourself.
You know what? I did that too. I'm gonna admit. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I didn't know that was what I did, but now I'm thankful to
I'm
you,
going to be real quick.
Christina, because you just showed me that. I put myself in Big Hank's position one night, and I literally started crying because I was thinking about you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I went past sympathy. I went down to where it broke me down. It just made me look at him, my man, how to be strong. I'm not trying to bring that like that, but I, I, we're not. I want people to understand something. We're not no person on where we're not understanding. So I want to share something, y'all. This really touched my heart because I'm not. It's not about race. This young man right here, I'm bringing up, man. You see him? Let me bring it down more. Um, let me bring this stuff right here. I don't know what this is. I'm trying to get this ad out of here and stuff. Sorry about that, y'all. Give me a minute. Trying to get this guy up, and this thing won't bring it down to me and stuff. But I want to show this guy right here. Y'all can see that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, this young man has autism, right?
Yeah.
He's been lost for 3 years. He done got all the way into Utah, man. Homeless and stuff, right? And it was getting cold and stuff for 3 years. And his family gets him back, you know. And I brought that up because I didn't care what race he was. I was so happy for their family that they got their loved ones back. You know, it didn't make me no different, white, black, Latino, or something. I was happy that someone's relieved that their loved one's back.
Yeah.
That boy's getting all types of kisses and hugs. He probably think I need to stay away for 3 more years. He come back get all this love.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying that.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? You just made a point that I got to bring the CRT back this Thursday because of what you said, Christina.
Yeah.
I think
All you gotta do is
a
think
lot of our
about
neighbors,
it.
I think a lot of our neighbors
Just think about it.
think like that. Our white neighbors and stuff that they sympathize with, but those who are empathizing is being called woke, and you just kick the
Mhm.
bone. You know, I was asking a question, Big Hank. Me and Big Ski, was in Compton Friday, this past Friday, and we was talking about, we was reading some articles about how police officers are just jumping on little black girls from 13 to 16 years of age. And we said, what would you do if you seen a cop slamming your 13-year-old, your daughter? And and every time I've asked that question, no matter what race, Cass was like, man, I'm gonna have to go to jail, get killed, you know.
I'm going to jail. I'm
I'm
going
going to
to jail.
jail. Or say they're gonna have to do it because
Because I'm gonna get him up off my daughter one way or another.
that part. What would you look at a dude if you seen a dude slamming this other dude's daughter and he's screaming, get off of her, leave her alone. He just, what would you do? What would you say to him? How would you look at that guy?
Me myself, man, it don't matter who daughter it is. If I see a police slamming any 16 or 14 or 15-year-old girl, I'm going to jail. I already know I'm going to jail.
Yeah, but okay, so when you're in jail, but you find out this guy who freed, that was his actual daughter, and he didn't do nothing.
Got you.
Because we're
I
falling
thought
under
I
what?
thought I thought we were still talking about the police. That's my bad. I didn't know we was talking about a regular person. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I am talking about the police. I'm
Okay.
talking about if we
The
already know
police.
what you would do if it was your child or somebody else's child.
Right.
I'm
Right.
like
Right.
minded.
Right.
How do you look at a guy who that is their daughter and only thing he is doing is leave her alone, stop, but he ain't doing going in there.
Now he has to. Now you got to figure out what's wrong with him. You got to figure out, is he mentally stable? Because that would have been something that would have got me out of body right off the bat. I wouldn't have thought about it or nothing. I'm a woman, but I've been turned to a whole nigga for real. I wouldn't have thought about it.
I just now you see how we all talking. It's just three of us. Other people, you can't mess with an animal or goose and her gooselings, right? Now, what do we supposed to say now? Now that means that all three of us only sympathize with people who've gone through this, of where they've lost their kids and their loved ones to the police. This dude just shot 4 or 5 times because his brake light is out. Just the other day, lady in LA shot 30 times in her car. Now, you know, one of the things I'm learning from Ukraine is connected to Russia. They fighting back.
Yeah.
Isn't insanity if when we keep doing the same thing, everybody wants to go to heaven, but it seems like so many people scared to die. And if we do die, you die in a honorable reason, right? I don't want to be dying on the streets as a liability and just on stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna die, I want to be a reasonable death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What God finds it fit.
Right.
I don't know if I'm making sense or anything, but it's too many times when we don't want to face upon the subject about CRT. Is it the white people's fault that we deal with? No, they don't have that authority. They confused about stuff just as well. What president gets to take major documents to his house and we still show respect? You got to want to be able to, okay, you cannot plant hatred and think love is going to grow. Ruby Bridges, little 9-year-old girl down in Arkansas, trying to go to school. The mothers and all these people is yelling at this little girl. You this and that and all that. Now, them same mothers that are grandmothers now got mad at the media of painting that anniversary because their pictures was right there. So their grandkids now say, "Big Mama, ain't that you? Why are you yelling at her?"
Mm-hmm.
You planted that seed of hate, man. Now you're saying, what's wrong with America? You think you can do stuff on the people and get away? I can't do nothing to my own brother and stuff and think, oh, I'm gonna have a guilty conscience. That's why I can't steal from people. I can't, because I have a conscience. You do on somebody, it's coming back. You may go, if what goes around comes around.
Yes, sir.
Right. No specific time, but it's coming.
What you
Know
think
that.
y'all going to get from this world? It's going to be destruction. They done took the promise of God symbol and turned that into a flag.
Look, Galatians 6:7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked.
Not mocked.
For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Yes, sir.
It's coming back. He ain't be mad at me. I have to be right, because let me tell you, neighbors, every time I've done something and it was against the will of God, it all came back to me, and I had to go through my punishment and everything. If you planting hate,
it's gonna come up.
It's gonna come up.
And now just because you started planting good, that don't mean that the bad ain't got. You still got to go through that
It still
bad.
got to come
You
up.
got to
It's a
get yeah,
seed. It got to come up
yeah,
good or
it's a
bad.
seed. It got to. It's gonna come up sooner or later, man. Yes, sir. Now
Hey,
once
look
you
here.
get past all that,
You know
yeah.
the thing that went like this. He had the little electrode things on there on his head, and his head was real flat. They call him Herman Munster, but it was
Herman the Monster.
Monster. So they were like, "Oh, Frankenstein." Frankenstein is not this. Frankenstein is the doctor who created the monster.
Yes.
The monster wasn't Frankenstein.
Right.
Dr. Frankenstein was the person
created.
who created the monster that walked like this. And like my grandfather said, guess who only one who could destroy the monster? Was Dr. Frankenstein himself.
The one who created it. Yes,
I brought you in this world and I'll take you out.
Right.
Yeah.
Tater said, we reap what we sow.
Yeah.
Hey,
Tater, what's up? What's up, Tater?
You sit up here, I don't care. Look here, I would feel guilty. I'm just doing some minor stuff. I would feel guilty if I was walking and I was in a white guy walking in and I say, "What are you looking at, boy? Get your out the sidewalk." I would make me feel like I'm the terrible person, even if I am the ruler of the world.
Right.
I'm a professional comic, Big Hank. You and I, no, use comic. You've been to a place, and then some of the people's trying to cater to you because you are the head comedian and all that. They guess what? If people try to bring you anything, I don't ever like, "Where's my water?" I don't be like that. I'm always like, "Hey, can I get some water, please?"
Please,
Oh,
please.
yes. They give it to me. I say, "Hey, thank you."
It's about respect and how you rate it.
Yes, even though that's their job, because guess what? It's still in a human. If you believe in the God that I believe that God is in every human.
You had to learn that though, Roy. You had to learn that.
Yes.
Because you was brought up that way. That's where you was learned. Yes.
And yes, because one time when I was a kid, I got a worse whooping. My brother had a drink, and I just snatched it from him. "Give me that." My mother said, "You don't do that." Yeah. Pap, pap, pap. Next thing you know, "Can I have some, please?"
So rewind that, and then you empathize with him. How would you feel if you was in his shoes? Would
Yes,
you
but see, this is the thing. What you just said, uniqueness. So we get it, but how do America? Okay, God said, "I ain't going to destroy the world next time with water," and here's the symbol of my promise. They take something that God gives you and make it into a flag. Don't be making mad at me because the LBQ, TUVW, that community has taken that as the flag, which was a promise. Because fire is coming. Every prophecy has been fulfilled. There's wars, rumors of war. There's men of lovers of their own. That's what it says. Rumors and people will come in my name. Pestilence, diseases. We've been going through all that. Man, it was a flock of locusts. My mother told me they were so deep that they came in the trees and were making so much noise that they were flying out. People was like scared of them, right? Then we just had that disease that still keeps coming up with another strand. Yeah. It was amazing to me that there's people in America that are hungry. We still for real. Mm-hmm. But guess what? The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. That's why I sit in the back. I don't go to the front and ask to be removed so I can go. I sit in the back and be asked to come to the front, and I really ain't gonna sit in the front. Then I'm gonna catch that middle seat. I'm just like that. Every time I come to church, Big Hank, no, I'm gonna be in that middle.
Because you don't have to be in the front to be noticed.
Right behind me.
That's right. That's right.
You don't got to be in the forefront all the time. If you are who you are, you don't need no titles. You don't need no accolades.
Don't need none of
your light gonna shine and show for
itself. Hey, we have somebody named
you don't have to be in the front. You are already in the front.
We have somebody named
that's one of my fleet members.
I'm gonna bring him in before we clear about to here. I'm gonna bring him in and stuff. Hey, how you doing?
DJ Flavor the one.
How you doing, Lee Dale? Oh, he got his phone. He's got his thing muted. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell him we brought him
DJ
in.
Flame, where you at?
I brought him in, but his mic is muted. He probably don't hear. But check this out. We're gonna pick up on this
You
subject.
probably didn't know.
Dig it up for yourself. See, you know what? It's easy to have this conversation. Oh, the way he told me this is back, but we gotta be realistic. We gotta look at the modern day. Just like those charters, we got to look at modern day. The whites that we deal with did not become slavery, but a lot of them don't understand that some of their neighbors live off of trust funds that is from the point of slavery. But you know what I'm saying? We got a group of blacks that's working on reparations for the state of California. I don't know what they taking so long to do.
Man, what the heck is going on? Man,
Here.
Just put some zeros behind it and send it, man.
Feel me? Now they want to see, if it comes from the line of slavery. Check this out, man. Let's take it back to, like they said, 1956. We can make America great again. We're going to start over. Everybody's equal. That's what the United States Constitution say. We're all equal.
Yes, sir.
And then guess what? One Lord, one faith, one baptism. I don't care who's baptizing you. I don't care how it is. I would be scared to not believe in Christ, despite what I do. And you can ask anybody, and me and Big Hank, we're past how people look at me. I may say words you don't like. I may conduct myself in a way you don't like, but you have to measure it up to see if I'm about God or not. Too many times we have listened to those who's playing tamarines and stuff and don't have no plan, but to try to come up with a better sermon so they can release your pockets. There's no infrastructure being built, but a lot of judgment of who this person is. Don't pray for me to have a job. Give me a job, and then I may sit up here and want to come to your church because you helped me out. That's why I go to St. Luke's Holy Baptist Church in Westside Long Beach, because it helped me. And not in a material ways. It's just that I had thoughts. Yes, and when I heard what Dr. Williams said, it confirmed my thoughts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I can relate with Big Hank. And then I choose to go through this. Am I a daily participant? No, I'm not. But I represent St. Luke's, and I represent all the people trying to do it right. Because God,
you gotta go where you're getting fed meat. You can't be stuck on milk all your life, if that makes sense. In this season, we need to go straight to the meat. We need to be taught, not played with, because these people's souls are at stake.
Yeah, all three of us have to set up for us to be ministers. It's what this is. We talk on our way. This is the World Wide Web. John 14:14 said, "Greater works will y'all do."
Yes, sir.
Because he had to travel. Now, am I Christ-like? I don't look at Jesus as, he was a carpenter and a sailor.
Yes, sir.
he was tough, but he was humble because he had 10,000 angels that could come and put, one angel could mess a neighborhood up. I'd be like, hey, man, you remember that one, the Bi-Fi's Mafia 7s? Man, the angel came in and knocked out 10,000 angels. So guess what? Be bold, but we got to be right too. We can't be left on one side and one side. You can't be lukewarm. You can't be hot and cold. Because he said, "I'll spew you out the mouth." He deal with you if you cold. I get you hot. But if you knowing and you still holding it, guess what? It's nothing but confusion. I try anybody. Just take it till we meet again. 48 hours. Anything that occurs, bad, whatever, make it seem like it was you because you got control of that situation. Someone cuts you off, just hit your brakes. Don't even go off on them because that's a test of yourself. If we can at least for 48 hours say, I'm going to try to love everybody no matter what they say. I'm going to smile and say, hey, before that, now it's going to be hard because I can leave off this and be frowning at my next
It's gonna take some work,
but it's an effort.
but it can be done
Anybody
though.
listen, if you're white and you ain't never had no blacks and you go see what happens if you be nice. If their butthole back to you, don't think all blacks is like that. Just dust your feet off and move it on. Because you meet up with me and say, man, hey, how you doing? I'm gonna do like this. Hey, what's up with you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I dare every one of us to do that, man.
That part. Yes, sir.
Big Hank, man, you
I
know I
mean,
Pray
love
for me in advance.
I love you too, Roy. I love you, Mr. Uniqueness.
Love
you.
y'all more.
I love you. Hey, check this out. I ask God to bless all y'all families. And anybody who's listening, I ask you to bless your families. Those ain't listening. It's pushing forward.
Yeah,
It's
them
pushing
too.
forward. We may only have 5 or 6 listeners, but that's touching because the road to glory is short and narrow. It's straight and narrow. It's straight and narrow. The road to hell is wide and unassuming. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. God bless y'all, bro.
All right.
We're thirsty.
All right, me too, man. I'll be good,
Every
man. I'm gonna be in that
Tuesday
line
and
with
every
you.
Thursday.
That narrow
Y'all
line.
tap in. Is this thing on?
Can
you hear me?
Say it again, Big Hank.
Said I'm gonna be in that narrow line over there with you, man.
Hey,
We
man,
one step at a time.
I ain't lying.
Hey, I'm gonna be asking Hank because Hank is tall enough. I'm gonna be like, hey, what how many people look like they're going in?
Yeah. How long is the line up there? You see how long the line is?
I told him, hey man, if that gate starts shutting, I'm getting in there.
I'm sliding in there too.
I'm sliding in. Yeah.
I'm sliding
in there before me.
Slide up under the gate.
Hey, we ain't gonna have to do that. You gonna get in. It's me with the gate slamming. I'll be in eternity with my bare cheeks bare showing. It's all right, man. God bless y'all, man.
Roy, is anybody out there? It's the spot to be, baby. Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest.